My name is Alma Jauza.
Hi, my name is Ulya Latifatul Husna.
Hi, my name is Fauzan Nurcholis.
My name is Niswatin Filliyah.
My name is Azizatus Sa'adah.
My name is Fathin Mujmila.
Hi guys, my name is Ziyada and
Hi everyone, my name is Ali Mahfudz.
My name is Rizqina Kautsarani Putri.
Hello, my name is Azizatus.
we are from the third group, and through this video we will talk about English syllables, consonant clusters, English stress, and the last is English intonations.
English syllable. English syllable is one unit of sound in English. Syllable join consonant and vowels to form words. Syllables can have more than one consonant and more than one vowel as well. However, the consonant and vowel that create the syllable cannot make more than one sound. Most people seem to believe that even if they cannot define what a syllable is, they can count how many syllables there are in a given word or sentence. If they are asked to do this, they often tap their finger as they count, which illustrates the syllables' importance in the rhythm of speech. Examples of syllables in English. Syllables are formed when a vowel pairs with a consonant to create a unit of sound. Some words have one syllable, monosyllabic, and some words have many syllables, is polysyllabic. The first is long. This word has one syllable. There is only one vowel sound created by the O. The second is stamp. This word has one syllable. Even though there are two vowels, only one vowel makes a sound. The long A sound in the vowel sound, the A is a silent A. And the third is silent. This word has two vowel sound, therefore it has two syllables. The first syllable is C with the long E sound. The second syllables include the letters length.
Open and close syllable. What is an open syllable? An open syllable is a syllable that has only one vowel and only one vowel sound. The single vowel in the open syllable occur at the end of the word. Example: try, no, go, to, brew. What is a closed syllable? A closed syllable is a syllable that has only one vowel and only one vowel sound. A closed syllable and in a consonant. Example: truck, us, bin, trim, gym, neck, if.
Consonants E syllables. And in a final silent E with a consonant just before the silent E. The silent E makes the vowel before it have a long sound. Examples include home, fine, cute. R controlled syllables always have at least one vowel followed by R. The R gives it a unique sound. Some examples are her, bird, fur. Consonants LE syllables has no vowel sound. The silent E at the end of the syllables is the only vowel. Only the consonants and the L are pronounced. Examples include purple, table, maple. Diphthong or vowel themes syllables usually has two adjacent vowels that are pronounced together. These produce a special sound. Examples include 8, crow, tail.
Hello guys,
Now we move on the next chapter. The chapter is consonant clusters. Okay, have any of you heard this chapter before? If done, we will explain you about consonant clusters. Basically, consonant clusters is a combination or groups of consonants which come together in a word and have no vowel in between. These consonant clusters are sometimes also called as the consonant blend. Consonant clusters can appear at the beginning, in the middle, or at the end of a word. Now, do you know about types of consonant clusters? If not, I will explain you about types of consonant clusters. The first is initial clusters. The second is medial clusters, and the third is final clusters. First, initial clusters. Initial clusters are a consonant cluster at the beginning of a word. For example, speed. Next, second, medial clusters. Medial clusters are a consonant cluster in the middle of a word. For example, reply. Reply. Okay, the last but the least, final clusters. Final clusters are consonant clusters at the end of a word. Do you know the examples? The example is bank. Bank at the end of a word. Okay, do you want to know more specifically about clusters? Like two members or three members example and more explanation about clusters? If you want, let's move on to the next slide.
First type of consonant cluster is initial cluster. Initial cluster is a consonant cluster at the beginning of words. There are initial two consonant cluster and initial three consonant cluster. The first is initial two consonant cluster. Initial two consonant cluster are of two sorts in English. One short in composed of S followed by one of a small set of consonants. Examples of such clusters are found in words such as sting for ST, sway for SW, and smoke for SM. The other sorts begin with one of a set of about 15 consonants, followed by one of set L, R, W, J, as in for example, play, try, quick, and view. The second is initial three consonant cluster. Initial three consonant cluster at the beginning of words. The example is SPR for spray, spread, spring. STR for street, struggle, and streak. SKR for scream, screen, screw, and script. STJ for stupid and student. And the last is SPL for splash, splendid, and split.
Explain about medial cluster. Medial cluster have two chapters, and the first is intrasyllabic. The sequence of consonants in the word medial position which belong to the same syllable is called intrasyllabic cluster. As for example, camping, camping, replay, replay, extra, extra, windy, windy. Intersyllabic. If the consonant belonging to different syllables occurs together, the cluster former is called intersyllabic cluster. As for example, movement, movement, description, description, import, import, blackboard, blackboard. And then final cluster. Any consonant might be a final consonant except h, w, ch. Final consonant preceded by a pre-final consonant. The pre-final consonant form a small set final consonant followed by a post-final consonant. The post-final consonant also form a small set. Example words are birds, 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 birds. Thank you.
So, what is English stress? Stress or accent is the relative emphasis or prominence given to a certain syllable in a word or to a certain word in a phrase or sentence. The emphasis is typically caused by such properties as increased loudness and vowel length, full articulation of the vowel, and changes in tone. The terms stress and accent are often used synonymously in that context but are sometimes distinguished.
Types of stress. Number 1. Tonic stress. Tonic stress refers to the syllable in a word which receives the most stress in an intonation unit. An intonation unit has one tonic stress. It's important to remember that a sentence can have more than one intonation unit, and therefore have more than one tonic stress. The example: he is waiting. He is waiting for his friend. He is waiting for his friend at the station. Number 2. Emphatic stress. If you decide to emphasize something, you can change the stress from the principal noun to another content word, such as an adjective, big, difficult, etc. Or maybe intensifier, very, extremely, etc. This emphasis calls attention to the extraordinary nature of what you want to emphasize. For example, that was a difficult test. Standard statement. That was a difficult test. Emphasizes how difficult the test was. Number 3. Contrastive stress is used to point out the difference between one object and another. Contrastive stress tends to be used with terms such as this, that, this, and those. I think I prefer this color for the example. Do you want this or those curtains? Contrastive stress is also used to bring out a given word in a sentence, which will also slightly change the meaning. For the example, he came to the party yesterday. It was he, not someone else. And then the next, he walked to the party yesterday. He walked, rather than drove. He came to the party yesterday. It was a party, not a meeting or something else. He came to the party yesterday. It was yesterday, not 2 weeks ago or some other time. That's about the
Degrees of stress. First is primary stress. It is the stronger degree of stress. Primary stress gives the final stress syllable. Primary stress is very important in compound word. For the example, about, intention. The second is secondary stress. Secondary stress is the weaker of two degrees of stress in the pronunciation of word. Secondary stress gives the other lexically stressed syllable in a word. Secondary stress is important primarily in the long word with several syllables. For the example, economic, functional. The last is tertiary stress. It includes the vowel unstressed vowel. An unstressed vowel is the vowel sound that from the syllable peak of a syllable that has no lexical stress. For the example, prepare, yoga.
Now we're going to talk about intonation. Did you know about it? Well, intonation describes about how your voice rises and falls in a speech. And also, intonation patterns are divided into two. First, we got rising intonation. What is that? Rising intonation describes about how your voice rises in the end of sentence, and it's usually common in yes/no questions. I'll give you some example like, can we leave now? Yes, of course. No, because I have to do my homework. Is she ready? Yeah, she's ready. No, she's not ready yet. Second, we got falling intonation. What is that? Falling intonation describes about how your voice falls on the final stressed syllable of a phrase or a group of words, and it's usually common in WH questions, statements, and imperative. And I will give you some example for WH questions. It's like, how did you get there? Where's the house? And then for a statement, it's like, you can walk there. The salad is just block away. And the last is imperatives. It's like, you can sit down, wash it. Well, I think it's enough. Thank you.